Important disclaimer, do not take anything that I say in this video seriously. Anything said in this video was said only for the sole purpose of comedy and entertainment. In order to learn about the impacts of COVID-19 and to learn how to best protect yourself and others from COVID-19, we at Multi-Step Productions recommend that you visit the official World Health Organization website at www.who.int. Thank you for your understanding and patience. Now, onto the video. Warning, the following video will contain content that is not appropriate for children. Viewer discretion is advised.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back for another one of my Pokemon Battle Revolution discussion battles. Fuck yeah. Alright, so some of you guys are probably like, oh great, Multi-Step's back again with another one of these. So I know the video I produced yesterday went on for about like an hour and 40 minutes, like over an hour and 40 minutes. And actually the video I uploaded yesterday actually ended up being the longest video I've ever produced, which is why that was the only thing I uploaded yesterday. Plus I did have work yesterday, I had to go into work early. So, yeah. But either way, I'm doing this video today because there's a couple things from that recording session that I wanted to clear up a bit. Because I forgot to mention a couple of things. So this shouldn't be as long of a video as the last one was, so no worries there. But again, like I said, I want to make my stance on the whole COVID thing very clear. And again, I don't really take much pleasure in having to do, you know, these more serious videos, you know, especially like with regards to the story that I told you guys about yesterday. Like, you know, that was a really crappy experience for me, but I wanted to tell you guys about it because, again, when there are injustices being done in this world, I will not keep my mouth shut. I will expose them for what they are. So, yeah, that's how I do things. That's how I've always done things. That's how I always will do things. So, I think I made my stance yesterday on COVID and all this bullshit pretty clear. So if you haven't watched the video that I did yesterday, granted, it's a long-ass video, so if you choose to watch it, you know, you're going to be in for quite one hell of a show. I would recommend actually just, like, doing other stuff and, like, you know, putting that video on in the background, because that video is more about the commentary than about the gameplay itself. Because I actually finished up the battle, like, pretty early on in that video, and then it was just me talking for, like, an hour and 40 minutes, but, yeah, I would recommend checking that video out if you guys haven't yet. Otherwise, this video isn't going to make as much sense to you guys. But you know what? You guys do whatever you're going to do. Again, like I said, I try not to tell people how to live their lives. All I can do is simply give you guys my opinions and speak the truth. And you guys can do whatever you want with that. Whether you choose to accept it or not, that's your prerogative. But all I can do is speak what I know to be true and say what I believe, and that's all I can do at the end of the day. You know, again, whatever you guys choose to do or choose not to do with your lives, that is entirely your prerogative. You know, again, like I said, I don't like to be in the business of telling other people how to live their lives. You choose to do whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want, and it's none of my goddamn business at the end of the day. Generally speaking. So, again, like I said, I just wanted to make sure that on my end, you know, you guys completely understand where I'm coming from with regards to the whole COVID-19 thing. And hopefully after this video, I won't have to make any more videos like this addressing different things. I really hope I don't. You know, because again, like I said, I just want to sit here and play video games and have fun with you guys. I don't like to make these more serious videos, you know. I don't like doing that. That's not what I'm about. I just want to sit here, make fun videos, and have fun playing video games for you guys, and that's it. You know, I don't like doing these more serious videos. Fucking hate it, you know, but it needs to be done, so it will be done. You know, I'm not going to shy away from shit just because I don't like to, you know, do videos like these. And I don't. I take no pleasure in it. Never have, never will, but again, it needs to be done. You guys need to understand where I'm coming from. That's why I'm making these videos. Now, this is something that I forgot to mention yesterday, which is why I'm doing this video today. With regards to the whole COVID thing, I want to make it very clear. I would be singing a very different tune about the COVID-19 vaccine, or not the vaccine, the virus. I would be singing a very different tune about the COVID, pandemic if COVID was deadlier. If COVID had even, let's just say, even a 10% death rate for the average person, I would be singing a very different tune right now. So I want to make it clear. The reason why I have the stance that I do on the COVID-19 pandemic is because of the fact that, relatively speaking, it has a very, very low death rate for the average person. It's not something crazy like Ebola, which has like a 50% death rate. If it was an Ebola outbreak instead of a COVID outbreak, I would not have left my fucking house since 2020. You guys can bet your asses on that. Okay? Like I said, if COVID had even a 10% death rate, I would be singing a completely different tune right now on the whole COVID-19 thing. I would say absolutely, we need to, go into lockdowns and all that shit. Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. Also, I would be singing a completely different tune. And I know I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying this, but that's okay. I'm actually kind of surprised that yesterday's video hasn't gotten taken down yet, but regardless, I'm willing to take that risk because, again, this is important shit and you guys deserve to hear it whether YouTube likes it or not. The fact of the matter is, and again, I have an inside source, that being my mom, who, again, works for she is a hospice case manager, like nurse manager or something, for one of the major health conglomerates in Illinois. So she has a lot of insider information, keep in mind, And again, you guys can choose to believe me or not, but I'm simply laying out the facts as they are, and those are the facts. My mom does work for one of those, major health conglomerates. And again, it's up to you guys to believe me, whether you think I'm telling the truth or not. I don't really care. I am simply telling you the truth. Again, whether you choose to believe it or not is entirely up to you. But that is a fact. I'm not bullshitting you guys. I'm not lying. Again, want to make that clear. And even my mom said, she's like, it would be a different story if the COVID-19 vaccines worked in the same way that other vaccines do. She's like, but according to all the research and data, it shows that these vaccines are not as effective as other vaccines, not even close. And that's coming from my mom, who has been in the medical professions for 20 fucking years and has held many different positions in the medical field over the past 20 years. So I'd kind of like to think she could kind of be considered an, expert, because the left likes to talk about experts. And some of you on the left are like, well, Multi-Step, you're not a doctor. Okay. True. But I can guarantee most of you assholes aren't doctors either. Also, again, like I said, that's coming from my mom, who, again, has been in the medical field for 20 years and has held several different positions in the medical field over those 20 years. Okay? She is someone who vehemently supports vaccines and shit like that. I want to make it clear. Again, I want to make it clear in no uncertain terms. Despite the fact that, this vaccine does not have as high of an efficacy rating as other vaccines. And that is an undisputable fact, by the way. YouTube. Despite that fact, I still actually support the vaccine. I want to make that clear, too. Again, I want to make it clear in no uncertain terms. I 100 support... wow, I can't talk today. 100% support vaccines. God, that sucked. But yeah, no, all joking aside, I 100% support vaccines. Always have, always will. Want to make that clear. But when we're talking about forcing people to take a vaccine that is using different technology than other vaccines use and has been proven to be less effective than other vaccines, it's kind of dumb, quite frankly. There's no other, intelligent way to put it. I'm just going to straight up say it. It's kind of dumb. Sorry I'm not speaking intelligently or whatever, or scholarly. But, again, it would be a different story. I would be singing a completely different tune on the COVID-19 pandemic if two things were different. If one, the COVID-19 pandemic was, worse, if the COVID virus was more deadly, I would be singing a completely different tune. And if the vaccine was proven to be at least 90% effective, which in a lot of cases it hasn't been even 90% effective. It's been, in some cases, way fucking less than that. Okay? If those two things were different, if the COVID-19 virus was more deadly and the vaccines were more effective, I would be singing a completely different tune when it comes to the whole COVID-19 pandemic. My views would be completely different. But the fact of the matter is that the media has completely blown this shit way out of proportion. And unfortunately, there's a large portion of the fucking sheeple out there that just mindlessly fucking believe whatever the hell they fucking watch on CNN and MSNBC. Those fucking mindless sheep just gobbling up those blue pills, not even bothering to think for themselves or face the reality of the situation. And the reality of the situation is that, and I'm going to say a radical thing here, COVID-19 isn't as bad as some people make it out to be. It isn't this big, terrifying, deadly monster that's going to come in the dead of night and fucking kill you. Okay? If anything, it's more like an annoying gnat. Buzzing around your eyes, because, gnats kind of do that sometimes. But it's more like an annoying little gnat that's just buzzing around your eyes. It's not like a fucking, like a panther that's going to just tear your ass apart. No, the COVID-19 virus is more like just an annoying gnat. The likelihood of the average person dying from COVID, and only COVID, without any pre-existing conditions or any shit like that, a normal, healthy, average person dying from COVID is, relatively speaking, especially compared to other things like drug abuse and shit like that, the likelihood of dying from COVID is very small. Now, I'm not saying that you can't be hospitalized, and that's the one thing that the vaccines do well. Is, keep you from getting severely hospitalized. So, like I said, again, I'm not saying that these vaccines are bad at all. In fact, they can help quite a bit, beyond a doubt. But what I'm saying is that they are not these big, glorious things that the doctors and experts make them out to be. That some of these doctors and experts make them out to be. At least the doctors and experts who have, political agendas. And then they just silence all the other doctors and experts who have differing opinions. Which is, that's real fucking nice. Because God fucking forbid we have diversity of thought, God fucking forbid we have that. But again, like I said, if two things were different, if the COVID-19 virus was more deadly, and number two, if the vaccine was much more effective at actually stopping the spread of COVID and actually 100% preventing COVID-19, then I would be much more willing to accept things like vaccine mandates. And, lockdowns. Shit like that. I would be much more willing to accept all this liberal bullshit if those two things were different. But that is not the reality of the situation. The reality of the situation is almost the exact opposite. The COVID-19 pandemic ain't that fucking deadly. The vaccine is not as effective as people think it is. Again, the vaccine is very good for keeping people out of hospitals. And that is a good thing. I want to make that clear as well. That is a very good thing. Like I said, I am not an anti-vaxxer. I think people should get the fucking vaccine. 100%. However, again, the fact of the matter is that it's not a priority for a lot of people right now. Because of the fact that it's not that fucking effective at actually killing the coronavirus. Again, it is very effective at keeping people out of hospitals, generally speaking. It has a pretty good efficacy rating of keeping people from getting severely hospitalized, which, in my opinion, is a good enough reason to take the, vaccine. Like I said, again, I support vaccines, but people are making the coronavirus out to be much worse than it is. It's really not that bad. Again, if you're talking about something like an Ebola outbreak, we'd be having a very different conversation right now. Again, I would be all for lockdowns. Like I said, I wouldn't have left my house at all in the last 2 years if this was an Ebola outbreak. Because Ebola is, again, much fucking worse than COVID-19. Seriously, do your research on it. Ebola is some of the nastiest fucking shit out there. Okay? Again, if we're talking about something like that, like I said, I would be singing a completely different tune right now. But the fact of the matter is that COVID-19 is not as deadly as some people seem to think it is. Also, the vaccines are not as effective at completely eliminating COVID-19, which is the point of a vaccine, by the way, is to eliminate a disease. The fact of the matter is that the COVID-19 vaccines have not been effective at completely eliminating COVID-19. And that's a simple fact. Because if they were effective, COVID-19 would be pretty much gone by now. And now I know what some of you guys were probably thinking. So yesterday I used the argument of antibodies, right? Like, why is the government forcing people to, take these vaccines, which are designed to help the body create antibodies to fight off the virus, right? And people are probably thinking, well, multi-step, you just use reductive reasoning. There's a lot more to the human, biology than simply antibodies. There's a lot more to it than that. There's like macrophages, all kinds of other shit like that. Leukocytes, there's a lot more to it. A lot of those like medical terms, shit like that, right? And yes, I know the body is a lot more complicated than that. So, for those of you who are like, well, multi-step, you're still not a doctor. Like, there's more to it than simply creating antibodies. Okay, that's fine. So I tried to use, reductive reasoning to, turn a complicated thing into a simple thing. So I'm going to further, keep in mind, I'm going to further use deductive reasoning. And I know, some of you guys are like, why do you use deductive reasoning? Well, here's the thing. A really smart person can take a very complex thing, distill it down to a way that the average person can understand that. That is the true mark of intelligence. That is the true mark of an intelligent person, is being able to take something very complex, distill it down in a way that the average person can understand. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think that I'm a particularly intelligent person. I would consider my intelligence to be very average, if not maybe even a little bit below average, because honestly I'm kind of retarded sometimes. But regardless, that is the true mark of an intelligent person, is the ability to take something complicated and distill it down into a way that the average person can understand. So I'm going to use deductive reasoning even further than that because, to all the people out there who are like, well, multi-step, you're still not a doctor. You don't understand that there's a lot more to it than just antibodies. Okay. Let's talk this then. I'm going to do this on the simplest ground fucking level. Is the vaccine effective? We've already discussed this. Is the vaccine effective? Like I said, we're going to talk about this on the most basic level. Again, like I said, look up the numbers. Is the vaccine fucking effective? To all the people out there bashing the anti-vaxxers, which again, I don't necessarily support anti-vaxxers, but to all the people out there who think anti-vaxxers or people who are at least anti-COVID-19 vaccine, not necessarily anti-vaxxers, just against this vaccine, look at the efficacy. Does it have the same efficacy as other vaccines? Because this vaccine does use different technology. Does it work? Because again, like I said, my mom has a lot of insider information, and she says that the data and statistics have shown very clearly that the efficacy of this vaccine does need to be called into question. And that's coming from my mom, someone who vehemently supports medicine and science. So what the fuck does that tell you? Again, like I said, you don't need to be a fucking doctor to understand basic logic. You don't need to have a fucking PhD in medicine to understand basic goddamn logic. You wonder why people are hesitant to take the vaccine? Look at the efficacy rating. Maybe give us a better fucking vaccine and we'd be more likely to take it. Give us a vaccine that actually does what vaccines are supposed to do and completely eliminate a virus. That is what vaccines are supposed to fucking do. Now, I think it was stupid of them to call this mRNA vaccine a vaccine. They should not have called it a vaccine. They should have referred to it as mRNA treatment, which is more accurately what this vaccine is. It is not necessarily a vaccine in the traditional sense. It is more accurately, it should be referred to as an mRNA treatment for COVID, which it is. Like I said, again, it is very effective at keeping people from being severely hospitalized. However, it is not effective at completely eliminating COVID-19. If it was, COVID-19 would not still be as pervasive as it is now. Not even close. Not even fucking close. We were promised a vaccine. What we got was a treatment that was marketed as a vaccine. That's why so many people are hesitant. That's why so many people don't trust the government right now. That's why so many people don't trust the experts. Because when they fucked up and labeled this as a vaccine, which it really shouldn't be, they literally just changed the definition of vaccine to say, oh, well, we were actually right. This is a vaccine now because we changed the definition of what a vaccine is. Really? Do you not see the stupidity that is right in front of your eyes? Do you not see the truth that is right in front of your eyes, that these so-called experts all have agendas? Most of them are not experts. They are politicians. Dr. Fauci is not a doctor. He is a politician with an agenda. A lot of these people that you see on TVs, these so-called doctors, are not doctors. They are people with agendas. Now, I'm not saying necessarily that they aren't doctors. I'm saying that they're people with agendas. Okay? You need to understand that. And again, I have been very open about my own biases and my own agendas. Shit like that. You guys know where I'm coming from. But that's the thing you need to understand. Again, it doesn't take someone with a PhD in medicine to understand basic logic. So the whole antibody argument that I made yesterday doesn't even matter if the vaccine doesn't do what it says vaccines are supposed to do in the first place. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant that I even made that argument, technically. However, it was still a valid argument, and I still stand by everything that I said yesterday. I want to make that abundantly clear as well. Anyone who's got a problem with that can kiss my ass and suck my fucking balls. Okay? Again, and that's the thing. You know, people go around being like, oh, well, are you a doctor? Okay, are you? Go ahead, tell me what a macrophage is. Tell me what a leukocyte is. Are you a fucking doctor? So most of the people who are out there saying, oh, well, you're not a doctor. Well, you're not either, you dipshit. It doesn't take a doctor. Again, like I've said many times, and I will say it many more, it doesn't take someone with a fucking PhD in medicine to understand basic goddamn logic. You know, you listen to the doctors on TV, they tell you a very different story than people who are actually on the ground dealing with this pandemic every fucking day. Like my mom, for example. So to all those people out there who, you know, wanted to bash that argument that I made yesterday about the, you know, antibodies or whatever. It's like, okay, is the vaccine effective in the way that other vaccines are effective? The answer is no. And again, the government would have much more success. This is just my own personal opinion. The government would have much more success if they did not market this as a vaccine, but rather as simply an mRNA treatment. I feel like a lot more people would have been a lot more comfortable and willing to go along with it. Which again, like I said, you know, there are benefits to this so-called vaccine. There are benefits to it. Again, I want to make it clear in no uncertain terms. I believe in science. I believe in logic. I believe in reason. And the data does show that this particular mRNA treatment does very much so prevent severe hospitalization. And like I said, I think that's a good enough reason alone to take it, you know? Now, are there any long-term side effects? Who knows? Who knows? But I mean, luckily, hopefully, you know, if there are any long-term side effects, maybe you'll be able to sue somebody in the future. Who knows? But But anyway, you know, like, people want to be so quick to say, oh, well, you're not a doctor. Okay, well, again, like I've said a million times, I'll say it a million more. I will drive this fucking point home a million more fucking times. Does not fucking take someone with a fucking PhD in fucking medicine to understand basic fucking logic. It doesn't. And that's the thing that people on the left don't fucking understand. So anyway, I just wanted to clear up those points. Again, the main things I wanted to say today. My stance on the COVID-19 pandemic and the COVID-19 vaccine would be very different if COVID was much more deadly and the vaccines were much more effective. Like I said, we would be having a completely different conversation today if those two things were the case. I want to make that clear as well. And again, those are the main things that I wanted to clear up from yesterday. So I just want to make that clear for you guys, make my stance on this clear once and for all. Really pray to God I don't have to do any more videos like this, because again, I really don't like doing these kind of videos. I would rather just be sitting here having fun playing video games with you guys. But like I said, again, when there are injustices being done in this world, I will not simply sit by, keep my mouth shut, sit on the sidelines. I will not fucking do it. I refuse. When I see injustices being done against my fellow countrymen, I will expose them for what they are. I will always be there to expose the injustice for what it is. Alright. Well, either way, again, hopefully I don't have to do any more videos like this in the future. I really don't want to. Again, like I said, I want to get back to just showing off a bunch of these brand new games for you guys, which I'm going to be doing a lot more of later today. Hopefully. Yesterday I didn't get to do any because it took me so long to produce that fucking video yesterday. But hopefully I should get to more of that today. I won't just be uploading this video today. I will be, going back to doing some regular content. Actually going to be showing off another brand new game today. So definitely stay tuned to check that out. Should be an interesting one. Luckily I have off of work today, so I got plenty of time to upload videos and shit like that. So that's kind of nice. So, yeah. Either way, I hope you all have a good one out there and all that good stuff. It's a crazy, stupid, fucked up world we live in, but, that's the way shit is. Shit's fucking stupid, but it's the way it is. Alright, anyway, guys, that is going to be it for this. Hopefully forever. Not necessarily Pokemon Battle Revolution, but hopefully I don't have to have any more conversations like this with you guys. Because again, like I said, I just want to play video games and have fun. I don't like doing these kind of more serious videos. I like to just sit back, relax, and have some fucking fun with you guys. And that's all. I don't like having to do these more serious videos. They suck, honestly. I hate doing them. But again, there are some things that just need to be said. Alright. Well, either way, guys, that will do it for today. And like I said, hopefully forever. So, yeah. Alright. Well, either way, guys, I'll see y'all in a little bit. So, till then, peace out.